Okay, here we have properties of real numbers. The following properties hold for real numbers a, b, and c. We have the commutative property of addition, which says a plus b is equal to b plus a, and also commutative property of multiplication, which is a times b, which is equal to b times a. So the order changes on the opposite sides of the equal sign. Then we have the associative property of addition, which we have a plus parentheses b plus c, which is equal to parentheses a plus b plus c. And the associative property of multiplication is a times parentheses b times c, which is equal to parentheses a times b parentheses times c. So if you notice, the associative property is that the order on both sides of the equal sign doesn't change. We have ABC and ABC, same thing over here. What's changing is the how it's grouped. Then we have the distributive property. We have a times parentheses b plus c. If we distribute a to b, it gives us a times b. If we distribute a to c, it gives us plus a times c. Then we have the identity property. So there exists a unique real number called the additive identity 0, such that for any real number a plus 0 is going to give you the value of a. And then with multiplication, there exists a unique real number called the multiplicative identity 1, such that for any real number a times 1 is equal to a. Then we have the inverse property. Every real number has an additive identity, inverse, or opposite, which is denoted as minus a, such that a plus the opposite of a is equal to 0. And every non-zero real number a has a multiplicative inverse, or reciprocal, denoted 1 over a, such that a times the reciprocal 1 over a is going to equal the value of 1. Now for example number 7, we're going to use properties of real numbers. So we're going to use the properties of real numbers to rewrite and simplify each expression, state which properties apply. So here we have 3 times 6 plus 3 times 4. So if we wrote this using the distributive property, we would then factor out the fact that 3 is being multiplied by both of those values. So this would be 3 times parentheses 6 plus 4. And then we would go ahead and use order of operations by then adding 6 plus 4, which is 10. And 3 times 10 is going to give you 30. Next we have parentheses 5 plus 8 plus negative 8. So we can use the associative property of addition by grouping 8 and negative 8, knowing that they're going to be opposites, which is the inverse property of addition. So we're going to have 5 plus 8 plus the opposite of 8, which is 0. So 5 plus 0 is 5. Next we have 6 minus 15 plus 9. We're going to use a distributive property by distributing the minus sign to both 15 and the 9. So we're going to get 6 plus negative 15 plus negative 9. And then we can go ahead and add what's in the brackets here because they have the same sign. So negative 15 plus negative 9 gives you negative 24. And 6 plus negative 24 gives you negative 18. In part D, we have 4 over 7 times 2/3 times 7 over 4. Now, if you notice here, 4 over 7 is being multiplied by the reciprocal here with inside the parentheses. So we can use the commutative property to reorder these two. So now it's 4 over 7 times 7 over 4 times 2 over 3. And then we can use the associative property by then grouping these together, which is 4 over 7 times 7 over 4 times 2/3. Well, 4 over 7 times 7 over 4 is going to give you 1 times 2/3, and therefore it becomes 2/3 as your answer. Then we have the following. We have 100 times 0.75 plus negative 2.38. And we're going to distribute 100 to both of those values. So it's going to be 100 times 0.075 plus 100 times negative 2.38. Now 100 times 0.75, we move that decimal place over twice. We get 75 plus 100 times negative 2.38. Move that decimal place over twice, which gives us negative 238. And if we add 75 to negative 238, then we would get negative 163 as your result.